going to describe how I went through this assignment. First, I built the custom AI agents, and in this pipeline, I used a custom chatbot agent, and I modified it so that the max number of turns that it makes is 1, since this came from a um, open source code that was an example for how to build a chatbot agent. So I didn't know how they implemented this section. I think it is kind of like a tree of thought where it makes multiple actions and it will make new observations based on those actions and then queue up a new prompt. And I thought that was a little bit too advanced for this example. So I just wanted it to make a single action and then print that result. So I used this new query. And the prompt I also modified so that it will create a response that uses two kind of like thought loops. The first one, it will think about an action, and then it will make an observation on the result of that action. And then in the second loop, it will make a thought, and instead of making an action, it will make a new observation. So this is kind of like a chain of thought prompting versus tree of thought. So it makes a single action and then it makes new observations based on the previous observation, kind of making a better answer as it's kind of like critiquing its previous observation. And so yeah, it uses OpenAI, so you don't need to kind of construct your own LLM. It's already constructed. And then you kind of just make the chatbot class, which uses this LLM, queues up messages, makes calls to the LLM, and then executes based on the prompt. And these are the tools. There's the Wikipedia function and the calculate function. These were also included in the open source code that I initially started out with. And this uses the Wikipedia API. And this one, it just evaluates the input. So here it could be anything. It could be a string, a series of numbers that are being added, and it's just evaluating them, and it could be an error, so you have to be careful with what you evaluate. And then my sample query to test was, are there movie and TV show streaming applications that allow you to watch with multiple people at the same time? And in the first chain of thought, it created an action where it searched up Wikipedia where watch party streaming apps. So it came up with these 4 useful keywords. And then it observed that there are several streaming applications. And then in the second chain of thought, it said I should look up more details about Netflix Party and Amazon Prime Video Watch Party. I guess these 2 platforms and services were included in the first observation. And since it couldn't create a new action, it just made a new observation. It skipped the action step. And then it said both Netflix Party and Amazon Prime Video Watch Party allow users to synchronize playback and communicate through text. So it kind of dug a little deeper into its initial response based on the action it took and looked deeper into the capabilities that they offered, like synchronizing playback and communicating through text. And then the final answer is yes, there are movie and TV show streaming applications like Netflix Party, kind of just summarizing the result of both. They enable users to watch multiple people at the same time and interact through text. That's something that wasn't in the first observation. And then in the second notebook, which with Langchain, I have two distinct AI agent pipelines. And to start, I use the sample database that is in the Langchain documentation, so I assume it is open source. And it uses the SQL database from URI function to load the database. And I think in the future I can improve this test example to connect to my own SQL database. But for now, this is what we have to test example database that has information about music. And so to start, we have to set up the LLM and the database and the AI agent. The database is already set up. The LLM needs to load this database using the SQL database toolkit that's given to it using the create SQL agent function, using the zero-shot React description agent type, which is able to make zero-shot responses. So it should return a response quickly. It doesn't do further investigating. And then the tools is here. This is for the second agent. The first agent is just using the database. The second agent uses Wikipedia query run and does not use the database. And then there's two different LLMs. There's the zero-shot LLM that's going to, there's the OpenAI LLM, which is going to be used with the zero-shot LLM and the zero-shot LLM. And then the second one is Chat OpenAI, which uses a different model, and it uses a different constructor. And I think this is necessary to use the functions from Langchain's tools. The first one uses the SQL database toolkit. So that's the tools that it's using, and it's a more advanced version of the tools that I'm using in the functions LLM. Finally, we can see the list of the table names in the test database. So we can see it's all related to music. And we can use the database agent to query it. So I asked it, are there any records in the track with chill in the name field? And I wanted it to include the spaces so that it remains a single word. And it looked through its database and it didn't follow that instruction. It just looked for tracks where the name is like chill. So it included names where even it still had chill as part of the word, not as the whole word. So there's Churchill, which is a person name, but it's not chill, like its own word. And there's also Achilles, which has chill in the name, but it's still not its own word. And those are the only two results. So I assume there's no other chill-like songs in this database. And then after looking at that response, I constructed a new query for the Wikipedia agent. And this one says, give me a summary for the song Achilles Last Stand that was in the previous SQL database. And I also included the artist Jimmy Page and Robert Plant, or I think these are the songwriters. And then the functions agent uses a different constructor than the database agent. It uses Langchain agent's initialize agent. The first one used the create SQL agent function from Langchain. Because that one uses SQL specifically, this one doesn't. And I passed it the OpenAI functions agent type and the tool, the Wikipedia tool. and then I ran the wiki query that says, give me a summary, and then it returned a response from Wikipedia. Achilles' Last Stand is a song by the English rock group Led Zeppelin, released as the opening track on their seventh studio album, Presence. So the artist is Led Zeppelin, the band, and so I assume Jimmy Page and Robert Plant might be band members or songwriters.